In this video, we're going to talk about common mistakes people make when hosting webinars. Of course, everybody makes mistakes, it's sort of part of the webinar process, but with a little help we can avoid these mistakes and have better webinars. And with that said and done, let's start. Mistake number 1. Not testing your equipment before the webinar. One of the biggest mistakes is not testing your equipment before the webinar, and this includes your camera, your microphone and your internet connection. So, how to avoid it? Always do a dry run before the webinar. This is a great opportunity for you to check if your microphone and your audio is very clear, if your camera and you, of course yourself, look very good as well, and that your internet connection is stable and fast enough. Most webinar platforms, like WebinarGeek, have the option to do a test webinar. Use it to make sure everything works well. And of course, it's better to find mistakes before the webinar than during. Mistake number 2, poor lighting and sound. Another mistake is bad lighting and poor sound. Of course, your audience needs to hear you very clearly and see you very well, otherwise they won't stay engaged. How to avoid it? Make sure that you have good lighting. So you might want to position yourself near a window or a lamp so your face is well lit. And if your face is well lit, the webinar will be lit as well. For sound, use a good microphone. It's best to avoid the built-in microphone from your laptop or computer and buy an external one. With an external one you have much better sound, much more clear sound, and you have a lot more control as well. Mistake number 3. Not preparing your presentation well enough. If your slides are messy or your points are unclear, your audience will lose interest quickly. This one is very easy to avoid, just put enough time and effort in your slides or points. So make sure that everything is clear and very easy to follow. And don't forget to practice in a test webinar to make sure that you are well enough prepared to give your presentation with your slides or points. With WebinarGeek you can easily share visuals and slides. A clean and organized presentation will keep your audience engaged. Mistake number 4, ignoring questions from your audience. If you don't answer questions from your audience, they might feel ignored, and this will hurt the webinar experience for you and for them. How to avoid it? Pay attention if you are on your own or have a moderator who can send the questions from the audience to the Q&A, and of course you as a presenter as well. Just engage people to send in questions via the Q&A or in the chat, and make sure that you have enough time in your webinar to answer all of those questions. You might want to answer the questions during the webinar, or just say, hey, we have a moderator who will collect all of your questions, and at the end of this webinar we will have a massive cool Q&A session in which I will answer all of your questions. But make sure that you have a special moment in your webinar where the audience can ask questions, and a moderator really helps with that. And of course, in WebinarGeek you have a lot of chat options and our new Q&A feature, so you can have a good Q&A session without worrying about reading all the different chats. So within WebinarGeek you have a lot of different options for chats and for the Q&A as well. Mistake number 5, not having a clear call to action. A call to action is important because it tells your audience what to do next. Without it, people just leave your webinar without knowing which action to take. You can avoid this by having a clear call to action during and at the end of the webinar. It is very good to tell people exactly what to do. So you might want to start a call to action which says, hey, register here for our next webinar, or visit this website for more information. Within WebinarGeek, the calls to actions can be a button or it can be a link. And at the end of the sessions, viewers know exactly what to do because you thought about having a cool, clear call to action. Mistake number 6, forgetting to follow up. After your webinar, if you don't follow up, you miss out on the opportunity to keep the conversation going. How to avoid this one? Send a thank you email, and don't forget to include the replay link so they can re-watch it. You can also use the follow-up emails to send extra information or additional resources. As I said in the beginning, mistakes can happen to everyone. But now you know these common ones and how to avoid them, so you can create a better webinar experience for yourself and for your audience. And that's it. If you enjoyed this video and you want to learn more about webinars and how to host them, what gear to use and what it's like to work at a tech startup, subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click like on this video and hit that notification bell. And let me know, what is your worst webinar mistake you ever made? Thank you so much for watching and see you on the next one. Bye!